Howdy everyone, how brilliant has today been? Big fan of Thurston and can't wait to hear what comes next. Actually, that's me, I'm next. Okay, I'm Pamela Buzik-Kim and I'm the Executive Director of Free the Work. And I'd like to say, fuck your charity. I know this is an odd thing to say as the Executive Director of a nonprofit. Yes, we operate on donations, yet our success operates with another currency, action. From our simple Free the Bid pledge in the triple bid to our minority-owned business program, all of our resources focus on action, transparency, and accountability. But don't we need charity? I'll tell you what I mean. One afternoon, a studio executive walked onto the set of a television show with 4 new casting agents. "Where's Joe, our casting guy?" the showrunner asked. The exec very quickly blurts out that Joe's on another show. The showrunner is surprised, annoyed, and visibly out of sorts. He retorts that it never took 4 Joes to do the job before. The studio executive is quick to calm things down, and abashedly she says, "We are working to meet and exceed our diversity goal hires set by the studio." The casting agents, the 4 Black women who arrived that morning ready to work, were left frozen in horror, wishing that they could turn back and leave. In one sentence, the studio executive has reconfirmed the showrunner's prejudices while creating some new ones, and wrecked any reasonable diligence the studio was attempting. And worst of all, they degraded ambitious, creative, and skilled women by saying their skin color replaced Joe, not their experience, awards, the interviews they conquered, or the pure passion for the job. These women don't want your charity in the form of diverse hires. So what do we want from this scenario? How could it have played out differently? When you visualize solidarity, you see a stage set with the props you need for success. The studio executive is in lockstep with the showrunner after sharing the values and the vision of the company. The two agree on the production needs, creators, and cast recruitment. Part of the values they agree to are collecting resumes from places they've never sourced, interviewing diverse applicants with a range of experience and talent, and going beyond the industry's who-you-know hiring practices. They also acknowledge the barricade to hundreds of thousands of BIPOC, military veterans, queer, trans, female-identifying, and creators living with disabilities to be lifted and make a plan to do it. The professional environment created needs to start from self-awareness and a willingness to understand. On that sad day, the actions and the behavior of the studio executive started from a place of charity. Did those women deserve a handout? No. They belong there through their grit and work ethic. The studio executive is part of the problem, and the more significant challenge is the system built by the CEO and boards. So how else do we recognize charity? Well, how about this? But you'll say, wait, Pamela, are you saying that we shouldn't be trying or donating or restructuring? That's not at all what I'm saying. We need companies to bring their financial influence for good. But here's when we know it's proven to be charity. Too many diversity and inclusion policies are built with weak beams, poorly built rooftops, and flimsy wood. It's cheaper, performative, and satisfying, but doesn't create comfort and shelter for its inhabitants. It is always temporary. So what do we need instead? We need diversity and inclusion policies built from concrete and stone to weather any climate. For diversity and inclusion to be more than a philosophical conversation, we need a value system that binds us. Solidarity. I'll say it again. Solidarity, solidarity, solidarity. It comes from a commitment to change and a willingness to fail. When companies are trying to fill a quota or meet a policy that regulates hiring, it gives them an out. This envisioned solidarity in practice showcases several elements. Publicly having a DEI plan, not just a statement. Discussing intention and context with the leadership, including getting the showrunner's buy-in and taking the time to create a safe space for in-depth conversations. And learning from this history and the above process. And what does all this do? It creates culture. Yes, this is culture. The human factor in any company will always be the most important. It does not matter how excellent your strategy is if the people executing it don't understand solidarity. Culture is not happy hours or forced in office days. It's about how your teammates respond in everyday situations, how they treat your clients and customers, and each other. You will not have a culture if we inadvertently force diverse hires to separate themselves from their ancestral roots, childhoods, and the mannerisms and the character traits that make up their complexity, uniqueness, and worth. Creatively speaking, erased individuality dries up the flow of ideas that our industry demands and desperately needs. Creating solidarity can take many forms. Culture moves faster than policy. So will releasing a DEI statement on your site matter if it's not part of reviews or onboarding? So require it. Will focusing solely on our Black and Asian communities in response to media cycles while shoving our disabilities and LGBTQIA+ communities to the back of the line create culture? We need to build coalition. Does offering abortion care to employees in endangered healthcare states create culture? Require our employers to defund anti-abortion politicians. A lot of you work for public companies. We need you to stand with us in solidarity now. There are too many armchair activists. It's time to center yourself in solidarity, not charity. For solidarity to be a reality, we need everyone. To better this industry we are in, we must build it together. Looking at numbers and checking off basic non-inclusive, are you white, are you Black, boxes to help a company meet its press release is unacceptable. Transparency is one of the most vital tenets of culture. Understanding this, Free the Work has rolled out a surveying tool, Invoke, which centers people from how it's built to the survey options that describe your demographic background. Invoke allows people to self-identify their background with many inclusive options while giving feedback on sentiment and logistics. Every submission is safe and anonymous. We never ask for names or emails. Even Free the Work staff cannot see how you identify. We understand the psychological safety of not wanting to identify with the company that pays you. We then aggregate anonymous information based on the industry, production, or even across several people in the same role. All this information is contextualized to inform and prioritize how we partner, fund, and assess programs to help all the communities effectively. Out of over 1,200 crew on over 50 sets surveyed, the least likely people to fill out our surveys are white cisgender people. And white women leaders will block the survey from going out to their white male directors and teammates to protect their ego. This is literally what they tell me. I can't imagine your egos are this fragile, but to be in solidarity, we need our white cisgender community to come forth with an abundance mindset and not scarcity. There is no allyship without action. Your allyship is charity if you're not interested in being part of the action. Your action is only effective if you understand solidarity. So fuck charity. Be in solidarity with us. Thank you. Thank you, Allyship in Action. Thank you, Nate, Steffi, Kat, Amy, and Bennett for the work that you do. Thank you, Betty Jo. Thank you, Christine. And thank you to the Free the Work team.